Yoga is a mind and body exercise with historical origins in ancient Indian philosophy. Different styles of yoga unite bodily postures, breathing methods, and relaxation or meditation. In 5,000 years of yoga background, the term yoga has gone through a renaissance in present society, exchanging the loincloth to get a leotard and leggings. Yoga is now popular as a kind of physical exercise predicated upon asanas, physical evaluations, to encourage enhanced control of body and mind and to enhance well-being, helping avoid a lot of spine problems and back pain. Here are a few facts regarding yoga. The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root yuj, meaning to yoke or join. Some folks take this to imply a union of mind and body. According to a market study in 2008, there are about 16 million people in the United States that practice yoga and spend at least $5.7 billion on yoga equipment per year. Hatha yoga is the sort of yoga most often practiced in Western culture. Ha means sun and de means moon. There are lots of styles of yoga. An individual's fitness level and desirable practice outcome determines the sort of yoga class on which they're best suited. There have been over 7,369 yoga-related accidents treated in doctors' offices, clinics, and emergency areas in 2010 according to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Overstretching the spine, neck, legs, shoulders, and knees, as well as repetitive strain, are just some of the frequent yoga injuries. Even the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons (AAOS) believes the rewards of yoga outweigh the potential physical dangers. Yoga is described as having 8 limbs or branches: yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Practicing yoga has many possible health benefits including relieving low back pain, assisting with anxiety management and increasing flexibility and balance. There is some evidence to suggest that pregnant women taking yoga courses are far less likely to experience problems in subsequent pregnancy and labor. The background of yoga: there is not any written document of the inventor of yoga. Yogis, yoga practitioners, practiced yoga long before any written account of this came into existence. Yogis within the millennia handed down the discipline for their students, and several distinct schools of yoga developed because the practice widened in international reach and fame. Sanskrit, the Indo-European terminology of the Vedas, India's early spiritual texts, also gave birth to the literature and the method of yoga. The Yoga Sutra, a 2,000-year-old treatise on yogic doctrine from the Indian sage Patanjali, is a type of guidebook that gives guidance about the best way to gain control over the mind and emotions and advice on spiritual development, providing the framework upon which yoga practice today is based. The Yoga Sutra is the earliest written record of yoga and also one of the oldest texts in life. The Sanskrit word yoga has many translations and can be translated in a variety of ways. Many translations purpose toward translations of to yoke, join, or focus, essentially a way to unite or a process of discipline. A male who practices this subject is referred to as a yogi or yogin, plus a female professional is known as a yogini. The positions that are now an integral component of health and fitness in many facilities around the world were not initially a dominant part of yoga traditions in India. Fitness was not a chief aim of training. The focus has been placed on other practices such as pranayama, expansion of the very important energy by means of breath, dharana, concentration, or placement of the emotional faculty, also nada, sound. Yoga began to gain recognition in the West at the end of the 19th century, with an explosion of interest in Pilates at the 1920s and 1930s, first in India and later in the West. Different types of yoga. Modern forms of yoga have significantly evolved to exercise focusing on strength, flexibility, and breathing to boost physical and mental well-being. There are many types of yoga, and no style is more authentic or superior to another. The secret is to decide on a class suitable for your fitness level. Types and styles of yoga. Ashtanga yoga. There are ancient yoga teachings found in the 1970s where it indicates that each of the 6 sequences of postures links every motion of the body rapidly. Bikram yoga, kept in heated rooms at temperatures of nearly 105 degrees and 40% humidity. So Bikram is a collection of 26 poses and chain of 2 breathing exercises. Hatha yoga, a generic term for any type of yoga which teaches physical postures. When a class is tagged as Hatha, it is generally a gentle introduction to the fundamental yoga postures. Iyengar yoga, concentrated on locating the appropriate alignment in every pose and utilizing props such as blocks, blankets, straps, chairs and bolsters to achieve that. Jivamukti yoga, significance, liberation when alive. Jivamukti yoga emerged in 1984, integrating religious teachings and vinyasa design exercise. Each class has a subject, which is explored through yoga scripture, chanting, meditation, asana, pranayama, and songs, and could be physically extreme. Kripalu yoga teaches practitioners to get to know, accept and learn from your system. In a Kripalu class, each student chooses to find their own level of training on a particular evening by day looking inward. The courses usually begin with breathing exercises and gentle stretches, accompanied by a collection of patient poses and last relaxation. Kundalini yoga, the Sanskrit word kundalini means coiled, like a snake. Kundalini yoga is a system of meditation aimed toward the discharge of kundalini energy. A class generally begins with rebounds and ends with singing, also in between attributes asana, pranayama, and meditation intended to make a specific outcome. Power yoga, an energetic and athletic type of yoga accommodated in the traditional Ashtanga method in the late 1980s. Sivananda, a system predicated on a 5-point philosophy that holds that appropriate breathing, relaxation, diet, exercise, and positive thinking function with each other to produce a healthy yogic way of life. Commonly uses the same 12 basic asanas, bookended by sun salutations and savasana presence. Viniyoga, meant to be adaptive to any person, irrespective of physical skill. Viniyoga educators are needed to be trained and have a tendency to be experts on anatomy and treatment. Yin, a quiet, meditative yoga exercise, also known as Taoist yoga. Yin yoga enables the discharge of tension in joints, ankles, knees, buttocks, the entire back, neck, and shoulders. Yin presents are passive, meaning the muscles must be relaxed while gravity does the job. Prenatal yoga, yoga postures carefully adapted for people that are pregnant. Prenatal yoga is made to help individuals in all phases of pregnancy and can support people in getting back to shape after pregnancy. Restorative yoga, a relaxing way of yoga, investing a course in 4 or 5 simple poses using props like blankets and strengthens to sink into deep relaxation without exerting some effort in carrying the pose. Benefits of doing yoga. 1. Improves your flexibility. Increased flexibility is one of the first and most obvious benefits of yoga. Throughout your first class, you probably will not have the ability to touch your toes, never mind do a back bend. But if you stay with it, you will notice a gradual loosening, and eventually, seemingly impossible poses will become potential. You will also probably notice that pains start to disappear. That's no coincidence. Tight shoulders can breed the knee joint as a result of the improper alignment of the thigh and shin bones. Tight hamstrings can result in a portion of the lumbar spine, which may lead to back pain. An inflexibility in muscles and connective tissues, such as fascia and ligaments, can cause poor posture. 2. Builds muscle strength. Strong muscles do more than look great. They also protect us in conditions like arthritis and back pain and help prevent falls in older men and women. When you build strength through yoga, then you balance it with flexibility. If you just moved into the gym and lifted weights, you could build strength at the cost of flexibility. 3. Perfects your posture. Your head is like a bowling ball, big, circular, and hefty. When your head is balanced perfectly over a vertical spine, there's less work for your back and neck muscles to help support it. Move it several inches ahead, however, and you also begin to strain those muscles. Imagine holding a bowling ball while leaning forward for 8 or 12 hours each day. No wonder you're tired. And fatigue might not be your only problem. Poor posture can cause neck, back, and other joint and muscle problems. As you slump, your body can compensate for flattening the standard inward curves in your neck and lower back. This may result in pain and degenerative arthritis of the spine. 4. Prevents joint and cartilage breakdown. Each time you practice yoga, you simply take your muscles through their entire selection of movement. This can help prevent degenerative arthritis or mitigate handicap by squeezing and soaking regions of cartilage which normally are not utilized. Joint cartilage is like a sponge, it receives new nutrients only if its fluid is squeezed out and a new supply can be soaked up. Without appropriate sustenance, failed regions of cartilage may finally wear out, exposing the underlying bone like weary brake pads. 5. Protects your backbone. Spinal discs, the shock absorbers between the vertebrae that may herniate and compress nerves, crave movement. That's the only way they receive their nourishment. Once you practice doing a well-balanced asana posture with a lot of forwarding bends, back bends, and twists, you'll be able to keep your spinal discs flexible. 6. Helps you focus. An important component of yoga is focusing on the present. Studies have found that regular yoga practice improves coordination, reaction time, memory, and even IQ scores. Those who practice transcendental meditation demonstrate and gain the ability to remember information better and solve problems because their concentration is better. They're less distracted by their thoughts, which can sometimes play over and over again like an endless loop. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.